Hello, this is Master Lawrence. Welcome to this video training on how to be a better referee in sport karate. I wanted to start by talking about the pit. When your division is called, it's important that you report to the pit and not to the ring number. The only exception is at the very first, when there's nobody on the floor, we then fill the rings so that every ring is functioning and running. After that, if your division is called, you go to the pit. As a referee, this is important simply because sometimes somebody will forget what I just said, and when they're called to the pit, which has a big sign that says pit, P-I-T, when they're called to the pit, what they'll do instead is they'll go to a ring. So just keep your eyes out. Watch for things. If you see somebody coming to a ring and you know that they're not in that division and you get an opportunity, simply go to them and say, "Are you supposed to be reporting to the pit?" And then point your finger where the pit is. The more that we all know how the tournament runs, the smoother everything goes. Your job as an official is to help things run smoothly. So watch this video carefully and you'll be smarter for it, and everybody will praise you for it. Have a great time and watch this carefully and you'll be a good referee. Thanks. The first events that are always called up are the forms or kata divisions. It's important to understand that where the judges sit is very important. So as an official, make sure that the ring and the chairs are set up like we have laid out here in this small ring. The center official will sit in the center of the ring. The bleachers or the parents and everything will be behind them. He will be the one sitting here giving the directions to everything else. The other officials will be in the far corner, one corner over here, one corner over here, if there are 3 officials. If there are 5, then there would be 2 on these corners. The far away so that everybody has to score independently. The competitors come up and do their form. Of course, the first 3 always come up. After the first 3 come up and do their form, they're called back up. First one comes back up, and then the center official says, "Judges, are you ready?" When they nod their head that they're ready to give their score, he flips his card and he says, "Judges, score." He lifts up his hand, so they all lift up their hands so they can see the score. The scorekeeper then writes those all down. If there aren't enough scorekeepers, the center official can function as that. So if you're a center official, make sure that you can add. And this is how it's laid out. Make sure that it's always laid out in this fashion here. Okay, notice how the referee is paying attention to the center of the ring as they should be. Sometimes, though, something in a nearby ring seems so exciting that a referee forgets to focus on what he should or she should be focusing on and looks over at what's going on in another ring. This is unfair to the competitors in the ring. Focus on your ring. Do not focus on other rings. Now let's talk about sparring. The center official is right here. Again, the stands or the fans are behind the center official so that what he sees is what they see. Next, the corner officials are sitting in a chair, one over to my right and one over to my left, but the one over to my left is opposite corner of the one to my right. So there are at least 2 officials on this side. It's very important that the center official take charge. When the competitors come up, and we'll put competitors in just a moment, but I want you to pay attention to what I do and what I say so you can do the same thing. This is what you would do. You would come to attention and you would call the competitors. First competitor, second competitor. You will call them by name. Call them clearly. Say their first and their last name, because sometimes people have the same first name. You want to make sure the correct people are fighting. You call them up. They're one on your right, one on your left. The one on your right has the red sash. You say, "Competitors, bow this way." And then you bow to the middle of the ring, which is kind of represents a special place where we practice being our very best selves. Then you say to the competitors, "Bow to each other." After they've done that, you step in the middle and you say, "Go." You step back and you let the action take place. When there's a stop in the action, or when somebody scores a point, or either official says stop, Then you loudly say, "Stop!" and you step in between and separate them. Then you step back, put your hands together, fist to fist, and you say, "Judges, score!" And then you point to the person who receives a point by lifting your hand like this, just pointing to them. If you don't see any points, it happened where you couldn't see a point be scored, you simply cover your eyes like this, symbolizing I couldn't see any points, so you're not going to count as a scorer at that point. So point whichever way somebody scores. That's important to practice this. So let's just go through it one more time. So you say, attention, competitors, bow this way, bow to each other, sparring stances, go. Step back. Stop. Separate them. Step back. Hands together. Judges, score. Then you look to see if there's at least a majority. Majority out of 3 is 2. So if you and another one point the same way, that person gets the point. Very good. Now we'll get some action going on, and you'll be able to see it and study this and become a very good official.